Hi, welcome back to my channel. So today, part 5 or leg 3 of the 2023 Iron Butt Rally. So let's get into it. We stopped part 4 when I think I was going to scoring and whatnot. So leg 3. Now leg 3 was the longest of the legs, and I felt it was going to be my strongest. In preparation for the Iron Butt Rally, I spent a lot of weekends getting up in the middle of the night and going and riding 200 or 300 miles through the dark. I did that so I would be prepared to ride through the night, and it did help me. But as I slept great in Denver, the bike was prepped, I felt better. When I was building my route, it seemed obvious. There were some points up north in Washington. There was a lot of points, as you may know if you've watched this, up in Canada. I wanted to go to Canada. Haven't been to Canada in like 20 years. I just didn't know what I was going to run into at the border. Didn't think this was the time to find out. So I settled in on some good points, again, back through California, down through the south, and then all the way to Key West, Florida. The route fit my needs. It looked pretty good. I even told my father that I was better suited for the heat than I was for the cold up north. I don't have heated gear. I run a medium-ish mid-layer when I need to, but I felt I was better suited for the heat, so I settled in on this route. So I left Denver, some of the most incredible riding I've done in a long time. 2-lane roads, weaving through the mountains. It was early morning. I was one of the first few bikes out, judging by the parking lot. And just incredible. I've had a ball the first few hours. It was still cool. Great riding. Picked up some bonuses in like New Mexico and then crossed Arizona and went to Las Vegas. There was a large points to be had at Caesar's Palace. I didn't really read it, and it was kind of a mistake. I had to go inside Caesar's Palace, so that was a little more difficult. I'm not that familiar with Caesar's Palace, so I had to walk in, find a place to park the bike, go inside, get a picture of the world's largest buffet, and then find my way back outside. Whole time I didn't feel comfortable leaving my helmet, leaving any of that stuff, so I took it all with me. That plays a toll on you. I skipped a couple, and I did this in planning. I skipped a couple bonuses to make it better, so I arrived in California about 10 p.m. This was going to allow me to sweep down through LA, hopefully with no traffic, and it worked great. I swept down through, picked up all the bonuses, and got to, like, the last one was, I don't know, pretty far south. And then I knew I was headed back out toward like I-8 through the middle of nowhere. And it was, I don't know, we'll call it 1, 2 in the morning, and I started thinking, I'm kind of familiar with that area. I knew it was going to be areas where there weren't many options, and I didn't really have a good plan to sleep on the ground. I slept on the ground once for a couple hours, and it didn't work very well for me. I'll have a plan for next time. Anyway, so I decided I better get a hotel room for a few hours. So I got a hotel room. I slept a few hours. Had kind of a hard time finding a hotel. I was in San Marcos, California. But anyway, it worked out. I got my receipts, I got my stuff, and I took off. Now this was a mistake that I made legs 2 and legs 3. I read the full packet in leg 1 and understood the points for rest bonuses. I didn't realize leg 2 the points went up. I didn't realize the points in leg 3 went up even more. The Iron Butt Association is trying to get you to take your rest. I slept about 4.5 hours, woke up, felt good, gotta go. I thought I was leaving 500 points on the table. I was leaving 5,000 points on the table. Big mistake on my part. So I take off. I went out into the middle of kind of nowhere, got the little camel bonus. Again, some great riding, and then continued on. I got off back on the I-8, back up to I-10, and started headed across. Now I knew that from that area to my house in San Antonio was basically a bun burner gold. I've done that before when I did my 50cc coast to coast. So I knew I could make it here. I thought, perfect opportunity to go through my house. I was going to get to see my wife and say hi, show her that I'm still alive, unload some gear that I didn't need, lighten the bike up a little bit, and sleep in my own bed for a couple hours. So that was my plan, and I took off. Again, the heat played a toll on me. I made it to a rest area just outside of Winslow, Arizona, and it was getting hot. I wasn't taking enough water in. I didn't know that at the time, but I wasn't consuming enough water, enough electrolytes. I got to this rest area and I wanted to get off the bike for a minute. Went into the rest area. There was some concrete benches out front. I walked up all my gear, started pulling gear off, took my gloves off, took my helmet off. I laid down on this concrete bench, just sort of covered up with my jacket. I slept about 3 minutes, woke up to a young lady sitting there, and we had some conversation. They were super cool. Her and her mom gave me water, gave me some mandarin oranges, had some good conversation. Boom, back on the bike, and off I went again. Rode my 1,500 miles, whatever it is, 1,700 miles, I'm not sure, but San Marcos, California to San Antonio. Got in here, parked the bike, took a shower, slept again like 4 hours, got up, unloaded the bike, actually washed the front of the bike off. So many bugs and stuff, I looked through my windshield and I couldn't see it, so washed the bike off, quick dip in the pool to cool off again, and off I went. 40 miles from here, a town called Seguin, got some points, and then I started looking at it. And the heat was playing, it's taking its toll on me. I needed to go to Key West, Florida. Big points in Key West. I was picking up points along my way, but big points in Key West. I got through Texas, picked up some points, Roadkill Cafe, and we'll just call it Mobile, Alabama. That was pretty cool. I did struggle with the photo. It was late at night. You got to use the headlights to illuminate the sign, but it took me a minute, but I got that. Got into Florida and started to struggle again. It was darkish. I slept on a picnic table, rest area again. I just wasn't doing very well. The heat was taking its toll on me again. I'm telling you. I picked up some points. I was about 300 miles from Key West. I picked up the last one, this Kumquat location. I don't even know where it is, near Tampa, I guess. I don't know. I'm about 300 miles from Key West, Florida. And mentally, I just didn't think I could do it. I was super hot. It was taking a toll on my brain. I wasn't thinking clearly. And then I made a mistake. The Iron Butt Association has this little blackout. You're not supposed to use social media. And in one of the rider meetings, they called somebody out for posting something about a bonus location. I opened social media, and the first thing I see is a rider that was having a mechanical. I thought, I can't imagine putting 8 days, 9 days into this ride and then having a mechanical. What am I going to do when I end up down in Key West, Florida, and can't make it back because the bike breaks or something? And it's hot, and then it starts to rain, and I realize for me to make it to Key West and back to Pittsburgh, I've got to ride straight through. It's going to be another 1,400 miles or something like that. Without looking, I'm not sure. And I've just ridden, 1,600 miles. So I don't think I can make it. So I scrapped Key West, Florida. At this point, I want to salvage an Iron Butt finish. I know I've got enough points to finish, and that is my goal now. So I turn and I'm headed north. I've got time. I feel comfortable that I've got time. I'm talking to my brother, and he says, "Man, you got 20 hours to go." And I said, 20 hours, dude? I'm headed to the barn. Mentally, I was done. So my first rainstorm in Florida, it wasn't terrible. I took another nap on a bench in a rest area. Started up through South Carolina. Decided I would take another rest bonus. I pulled in to get gas and was tired, and the bike barely started. I just thought, it's hot, but it cranked over slow. It did start. So now it's weighing on my mind. I go about another hour maybe, and I get to a hotel, and I'm done. I can't remember what time it is, but it's still daylight out. There was a Kentucky Fried Chicken right beside me. I thought, okay, I can get into this hotel. I can walk next door and get some food and get a receipt. It'll be fine. I get my hotel, come back out to the bike. The bike won't start. It won't even crank over. I just pushed it around to a parking spot, parked it, went upstairs, offloaded my gear, walked over to the Kentucky Fried Chicken. It was closed for renovation. I think I had to walk like 2 blocks to like a Pilot or something and get a receipt. I come back, I took a shower, and I just went to bed. I think I slept 4 hours. I woke up, it was midnight or something, and nice and cool, and my brake wasn't up. I hadn't used my whole brake. I only used my whole brake like on the first leg. Again, I thought I was losing 500 points, not 3,000, 5,000, whatever it was. It was a lot of points. I thought if the bike won't start, I'm gonna need time to figure it out, try to get it started. If it does start, I wanna be able to upload my gear to it. I want to be ready to go. So I grab my stuff, I upload the bike, I get all ready, fires up, no problem. Okay. So off I go. I'm getting closer and closer, picked up a few more little points. There's one 150 miles out, and it's the last bonus I have on my route. I grabbed it, there was a couple riders there. We had some good conversation. I was feeling pretty confident that at least I was a finisher. I knew I wasn't where I wanted to be. I made my mistakes, I'm okay with my mistakes, but I salvaged a finisher's ride, and that was my #1 goal. So I had some good conversation with those guys, and off I went. I made it to the hotel. There was already a couple riders there. There was no one there to score you, check you in. I'm 13 hours early. So I parked my bike, checked into the hotel, took a shower, and went to bed. Again, still in rally mode, slept 4 or 5 hours, got up, had some dinner, went to bed again, and got up at 4 and went through the finishing checkpoint. Incredible. Crossing the finish line, even though I'd been there 12 hours, there's people that get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to watch you finish. And you've got the look of exhaustion, and these people have the look of excitement, like they just did it. They're so excited for you, I can't explain it. There was other riders coming in, and it really hadn't hit me that I accomplished what I accomplished. But it's an incredible feeling. The last thing I put on my score sheet is my tracking for leg 4. And I just wrote tracking. Swap my pictures over, get ready, and go to scoring. Scoring's a little different for me this time. I think because I was salvaging things, I made some errors. Didn't put the right mileage in. Tracking is what the bonus is, but the code is TRK3. I lost 1,000 points for that. Lost some other points, made some other mistakes, but had enough points to be a finisher, and to me, that was my #1 goal. So, finished. Didn't know where I finished, but I finished. Went back outside. There was a lot of people gathering. People came from all over the place to watch us finish and hang out with us and go to the dinner. Saw most of my buddies, talked to all of them. I loaded my bike in my van. My riding gear never went to the hotel. It stayed in my van. I now went back to the hotel, showered, and started to decompress. The experience itself, incredible. We had a dinner like at 5 p.m. Most people slept during that time. And then we went to the banquet. The banquet was another really good dinner and a well put on banquet. We got some nice swag, got some nice plaques, picked up our posters and stuff that we bought, and it was incredible. Just the accomplishment that all of us shared was amazing. So get up the next morning and start my 1,600 mile trip home. This time it's in Sprinter van. This is important. I get home, I unload my stuff, I go to work the next few days, I change oil on my bike. I'm starting to clean it up. Bike wouldn't start. The battery was dead, it wouldn't start no matter what, it wouldn't hold a charge. So part of my cleaning and tearing it down and getting it ready again, I had to replace the battery. So had I gone to Key West, Florida, would I made it back? I don't know. I feel I made the right move at this point, and I was happy with that. So, you don't know. I will say, prepping for this, getting everything ready, I did think about replacing the battery. The bike, even though it's a 2020, it's only 2 years old. It was left over, and I bought it in 21. So I knew it was 2 years old, but it never gave me one bit of trouble. Just didn't think. So I don't know. I think I'm going to leave that one here. I'm going to end this video. I'm going to do one more, and I'm going to do it on what worked for me, what didn't work for me, what I really got out of it. I'll try to give you a set price of what I spent. I think I have that narrowed down. And I'll just give you a recap of how I truly feel about the Iron Butt Rally and the Iron Butt Association and what they've done here. All right. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Be safe.